Don't mind me drinking out of the Cinderella glass.
I like it.
Justin has a daughter, right?
Yeah, we have chaos in the house right now, so I was happy to get away for a few minutes to do this. It's a nice. We got what's it called? Frozen today, and it's.
Oh yeah, my kids have been on a Frozen kick for about a month now.
Oh, well, I don't even know what this is.
We have the soundtrack playing in the car at all times.
New Disney. New Disney.
All right. Well, here we are. We're live on our first Hanging Out with RAWdio podcast, and we were going to feature a rapper that we're friends with and we listen to on SoundCloud. His name was Apollo Main. He got caught up in the studio tonight. He's been texting back and forth with Rick Gerard, a.k.a. the King of Zamunda, and any other nasty name you can think of for him. So we ended up bringing in our good friend and creator and mastermind of the 1 Million Stories, Mr. Justin Finkelstein, had a few minutes to come in here and hang out with us. So he wanted to get RAWdio, and I don't blame him. How you doing, Justin?
I'm excellent. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Good. Rick, you doing okay?
Oh yeah, I'm excited, man.
Good. All right, so this is the first time we've done this, and Justin actually does this and has just started doing this recently and has a really awesome. Justin, you are so multimedia. Is it a podcast? Is it a vlog? Is it?
I don't quite know. I don't quite know what the Hangouts are. It was. I've been doing the profiles. I don't know if people listening. I've been doing the profiles on SoundCloud, and a gentleman by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk said you should record yourself doing that stuff, and that's what I've been doing. So we can call it whatever we want to call it. He says, what he said, RAWdio style. He didn't use that term. It's like ESPN, like dirty style. Just record yourself doing it, and that's why I started doing the Hangouts. So you can call it whatever you want to call it.
That's the way to do it. I look at it like think about like AM radio or just sports talk radio. I mean, it's nothing flashy. It's just people talking about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. I guess So 1 Million Stories. All right, for everyone that doesn't know, 1 Million Stories. All right, we all use a platform called SoundCloud, and it is like the best thing ever. You can upload sound bites to it. There is a ton of musicians, aspiring musicians, and just people that love to listen on there, and that's how we all got connected. Now, Rick and I, we go way back, and we've done things that I would never tell anyone about, but. As for Justin and I, we met over the fall just through some sound bites on SoundCloud, listening to the same music. And Justin, what is it you do on SoundCloud?
What I do is I do a couple of different things, but basically what I do is I go and I look at the artist behind the music on SoundCloud, and I do little 2-minute sound bites telling me or telling the person what inspires me about the work that they do. And then I share it with other people. That's basically it. It started off with me just wanting to get some thoughts out of my head. I just passed my 1,500th post on SoundCloud. Just got the 1,000th follower on SoundCloud, and this week launched the podcast, which is basically the iTunes version of the exact same stuff that we're doing live on SoundCloud.
Yep, RAWdio is also on iTunes, so check us both out there. And so let me bring this full circle a little bit. Ricky G over there is known as the King of Zamunda 83 on SoundCloud, and has always been extremely passionate about music, and has even made some in the past. And I had talked to you about him before. One day he just went out and picked up an MPK and just started making music because he had to, and he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah,
right.
I still don't.
I don't know what an MPK is, so you're ahead of me.
That's true.
What?
Ricky G?
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the emails you sent me about 1 Million Stories.
I mean, I think to sum up pretty much everyone that I've ever sent has been like how exciting it is to be in communications, or like able to let other people know how much that they do affects people like me, either listening or sharing or all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's pretty much you know, through Justin Finkelstein and you, it just gets me all, gets me amped up basically, being able to share with these people how I feel about it.
It's true, Justin. I literally did a Google Hangout with him for 3 hours the other night. I mean, we weren't doing it live or anything, but we couldn't get off the computer. We were talking about so much stuff and the potential, and you're the one that introduced me to this whole YouTube Hangout live thing we got going on right now.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's so great to see the face in chat.
I'm still getting used to it. It's pretty damn weird.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean it's in a good way,
Yeah, I do. I do. Well, Rick.
Yeah.
You were the one that basically, and this is even stranger, but you're the one how I got to Justin. See, you were on SoundCloud, and I went to your page. I started going through your likes, and I was listening to music, and then I hit some Mr. Fritz.
Yeah.
And then I saw Justin's name on there, and then I clicked on him, and I listened to a couple of his things, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And then I noticed someone from Producers United had said in a message on one of his sound bites that, Justin, we love what you're doing. You have our support all the time. And I was just like, follow, this guy's doing something cool, So from there, that's how all this started to happen, and that's how cool SoundCloud is.
Yeah. SoundCloud blows me away every time I'm on it, and how much different shit you can listen to and be a part of. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, I know that you just really started listening to music, making your sound files, but what's your genre of choice?
I don't know that I have a genre of choice. I'm trying to think Pandora is probably my the best judge. I'm going to go through my Pandora tracks right here. Who I have on Pandora. So I'm just going to read through all of them here, and then you can dig in where you want to dig in, and I can tell you the story of how they got added here. So bear with me for 1 second while I load up Pandora here.
I can't wait to get to the Wilson Phillips one.
Yeah. All right, so we start off. Okay, so Metallica is playing live right now. I don't want to. Stop.
Yeah, you're playing live.
I don't want this whole thing to not be able to play it in certain.
Yeah, I understand. It's okay. Audio. If we get thrown off, we get thrown off. It's nothing new for us.
So we get. So here we go. So my Pandora tracks. Number one, I've got Jennifer Page Radio, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipmunk Christmas Radio, Beyonce Radio. Hey You, What That Sound, 80s Pop, Smooth Jazz, George on My Mind, The Wedding Present Radio, no idea, Black Eyed Peas, Kraft, Nostalgic, iTunes, no idea how that got there, Doobie Brothers, 90s Hip Hop, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, A Dream is a Dream, Cinderella, Bon Jovi, Christmas Radio, Daniel Tosh, Rice Select, Dane Cook, OAR, Bill Burr, Jerry Seinfeld, Lady Gaga, Little Mermaid, Louis C.K. Should I stop or should I go all the way to Z?
Let's keep going.
I mean, you pretty much sealed the deal on the fact that you will listen to everything.
Metallica, Sam Kinison number 2, Sugar Ray, Joe Rogan, Comedy Cure, Jimmy Buffett, Grateful Dead, Chris Rock, Ant, Hanukkah's Rocks Radio, Scotty, Elmo Song, that was for you. Elmo Song, Yo Gabba Gabba, Barney, Johann Sebastian Bach, which I love to work by. Chinese Children, Gnarls Barkley, I got a lot of these. Guns N' Roses, Disney Songs, Teenage Fan Club, The Cars, Public Enemy, Billy Joel, and Joanna Newsom Radio.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're welcome.
I feel like if I was to get married, that's my playlist for the wedding.
That just made me dehydrated.
You mean me reading it or the actual music behind it?
Maybe that'd be like the backdrop to the actual songs, like the prelude is you reading it, and then you hit them with it.
And then just nail them.
Yeah.
And just nail them. Ricky, you put together some questions, right, for Apollo, man. Do you think they could apply to Justin at all?
Let's see. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can twist things around a little bit.
Yeah, I'll just answer them as how I think Apollo would answer.
Yeah. Do what Apollo would do. Actually, we're going to link up with them tomorrow night. They just texted back and forth there, and we're going to lock them in. So anyone that's watching now, the one viewer we have that I see there, we're going to be with Apollo Main tomorrow night, and I'll try and be a little better about having us set up and going before I start telling everyone that we're actually doing something.
You got to start somewhere, Scott.
Well, you're right. You're right, and I'm doing what I can do, but I can't make any, I can't make any sheer promises. We're fine tuning, right?
Yeah, I love that.
And that's something Justin's all about, right?
Yeah, no sheer promises, no fine tuning though either. Yeah, all about it. Ready, fire, aim. So I'd be happy to answer the question, Scotty. I'm a little less nervous this time than I was the first time I was on RAWdio, so maybe a little bit boisterous. So one of the things I'm thinking is stories. Start reading, having people read their Pandora list as a story, as another get to know you. The other thing, if you want, well, I'll make the invitation. You can pass on it. If the person here hits you up on Facebook, they know you on Facebook. Have them come on live if they want to. You can shoot them the link if they shoot you a Facebook message. Or
all right. Two viewers. Oh, down to one viewer. Whoever's in there right now, and you're in Facebook, I will seriously. I'll send you a link, and you guys can come in here and get real nasty with us if you want.
But you got to answer the questions, right? All right, I'm ready. Sorry, I'm ready. King is.
You ready?
Oh, man, put me on the spot. Let me get these questions together here. After your first album, do you have any plans for your next one?
I got 42 in the hopper. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I do something that I've wondered personally is I've asked Scott this before, and he's told me kind of the gist of it. But what is it you do? What do you actually do outside of just doing the SoundCloud stuff? And what's your profession? What got you into doing this?
It's a great question. First of all, I'm a CPA by training, a certified public accountant by training. I do work a day job in the corporate. I work for one of the largest banks in the world doing data analytics right now. But my track, I started off as a real estate investor. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2003 and bought a bunch of real estate. Got cocky with the real estate and started buying some low income stuff. Found myself about $300,000 in debt around 2007, and then started building websites. And I had a team of people just building websites. They were very spammy. We built like 150, 200 of those things just to, for Google AdSense purposes. Did a little bit of affiliate marketing stuff, and then about a year ago, I was at a marketing conference, and somebody said he was inspired by somebody else who made 80 videos in a day. And I said 80 videos, that doesn't seem like that many. And then the voice in the back of my head said, put your money where your mouth is. I went home that night, made 80 videos, and I realized I realized the cool thing about making a video, you have to look the person inside the camera in the eyes. So it's like you can't lie to the person that you're recording to here. So I use it as my own kind of personal development program. The problem with and I'll come in for a landing here in a second. The problem with videos, it was a pain to upload them because they were they're just too big. That's when I started doing audio messages around July of this year. It was same thing, me just talking stream of consciousness, and then. I was like, well, nobody's listening to what I have to talk about. Let me do profiles. First profile I did is a mutual friend of Scotty and my guy by the name of Rob Brink. I titled the thing Jewish Guy Who Loves Your Stuff. About 3 people were listening to my stuff before that. 60 people, because Rob got excited. He showed his kids. He showed his family. Then he shared it on his list. About 60 people listened to it. Then I started to do a bunch of musicians. Stumbled onto a gentleman by the name of Mr. Fritz. And my channel went to 500 listens a day pretty much overnight, and kind of the rest is history after that.
Justin, for some reason we lost your video.
Oh, really?
Nope, you're back.
Okay.
I was gonna say I've seen it the whole time.
I don't know what happened. He was like the blue circle. I don't know what was going on there.
Oh, okay.
All right. Regardless of that, so you said you did, and this is pre 1 million stories, right? This is the idea of you just praising other people.
Yep.
And being inspired by what they were inspired to do.
Yeah.
And overnight, 500 plays, huh?
Yep. A day.
That's incredible, and it's you bring that up right now, and I was in a hangout with a couple buddies earlier today talking about getting into these hangouts and doing these things, and I said at some point here if you keep making stuff, someone's going to grab onto it. It's just going to, it'll just blow up. It'll just go.
Yeah.
And you have been pushing me, Justin. You and I, we were all over the place last week, and then this week I almost died from, I don't know what. I think I was drinking swamp water or something.
Sorry,
but it wasn't good. But it's something that, like, all of a sudden I was feeling better. I was like, oh shit, I need to do something. And I created a ton this week. I wrote 2 blogs. I put out some sound bites. And I got some stuff that you and I are working on. So it's awesome to understand that that's exactly how you did it, and it makes me happy. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, all that info just overwhelmed me all of a sudden. But yes, it's exciting. It's all exciting, and it's new, and it's
Yeah, I think the thing is, I found the thing that that I can do all day, and people seem to like it. So there's a sweet spot with that. And I think if you find what that thing is, and you do that a lot, and you share it with people, whatever that thing is, it's the formula for success. Because you're gonna get good at it if you just keep, and that's the, and it's, the secret to my quote-unquote success, if you want to call that, is I've just done more than anybody else. And I've done more because I love the stuff that I do. And because I love the stuff that I do, I'm fueled to do more, and I get better stuff to talk about because I'm happy. And people, and it serves other people, so people want to do stuff. It's just like, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And you actually, you're doing podcasts with people that have very significant following. The different musicians out there. Like a very large numbers of people. In retrospect to how you started doing this. You've been doing stuff with Jennifer Page and the guys at Producers United. They're all, those guys work hard up there. It's like insane. Every time I click on one of their SoundCloud pages, I think they don't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean Patel is kind of the mastermind behind it, and it's it didn't start that way, and it's still my favorite thing to do is find somebody who just liked one of my posts a couple of minutes ago and do something on it and see it get a couple of, it's still, I love working with, I did the interview with J1K, who's got 10,000 followers. It's just the most helpful. I assumed he'd done a lot of it. It was his first interview that he's done live. He's a pretty private guy. But yeah, that just happens. That happens as a byproduct of doing that stuff and being, excited about it. And but it's just like, it's you just kind of stumble onto these people that are like, that are, have done some great things. Daniel Eban I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. That kid is like, he's a freaking horse, and it's just like you realize you wake up one day. You too, Scott. He's saying, like, it's like you wake up one day and you realize, wow, I'm around some really cool people who are really talented and doing some awesome stuff. Well, that might mean that I might be decent myself. Like you can't. We always look at ourselves as not. Yeah, it's awesome though.
I think that's what I've liked the most about like the SoundCloud thing is you got people who are just starting, or then you've got people who are world famous musicians, and they're all on the same platform, basically doing the same, working towards the same goal as having people hear their stuff. And that's I think that's like it's like a level playing field almost, in the sense of everybody's hearing it in the same way. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what I like.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
There's an artist. When I first got onto SoundCloud, I stumbled into him, and he goes by Flume. And the whole world knows who Flume is now, but when I became, when I started to follow him, he had about 1,000 followers. And he happened to have an electronic song called Sleepless that went to the top of the iTunes charts for electronic music. And he literally, I went to his page today, he's got over 500,000.
Wow.
That's probably 15 months. And I think to myself, and he has just pumped out music since then. And the scene in Australia, he's Australian. The scene down there is it's awesome. I mean, the musicians that I follow from that part of the world is incredible. But that was someone, all of a sudden I realized how cool SoundCloud was, because here he was releasing music for free and doing all this stuff. And then I started following him on Facebook. And then he says, "Oh man, look at my," he did like a screenshot of the iTunes chart. He was like, "This is incredible." And then all of a sudden, his fan base started growing, and then he put an album out there, and and then he's touring, and it's just nuts. And it always feels good to be like, yeah, I supported that guy right from the beginning.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like another one is the popular song right now, the girl from New Zealand. Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rose? All right. She was on SoundCloud a year ago with that song with like 200 followers.
Huh.
And I remember hearing it then. I remember playing it for Brewski because Ricky G there had just picked up the MPK, and we were all discussing beats, and so I wanted to send him that song to listen to the beat. And he sends me this message back. He goes, "What are you doing listening to this?" and that was a year ago, and now here it is all over the radio and stuff, and he even has it, he put together some compilation CD for a party we were at, and it was on there. So it's great to see when you know about it, when it's that young, fresh. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound creepy, but
you are.
That did sound creepy.
I am sounding pretty creepy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Other questions, Rick?
You know what? We talked about this one, and then this is what I wanted to end it all with. Was Justin, if you were stuck on an island with 3 albums to listen to for the rest of your life, what would those 3 be?
Albums, okay.
Yeah.
So can I do YouTube playlists? Because I don't know that.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no.
So my YouTube. So these are my working YouTube playlists, and I think that's probably where I get the most amount. I'm just trying to think of the thing that when I go back. So the big thing I did the John Lennon playlist. I think there's like a 40 video when I was working. That always got me in the zone. So I don't know what album. So it's 40 of his videos on YouTube. When I wanted to get pumped up, there's I don't know. It's not all Black Eyed Peas stuff, but it's like a Black Eyed Peas playlist.
Are you a pre-Fergie or are you into Fergie?
I don't have. I didn't even know that there was Black Eyed Peas without the Fergie.
So. Okay. Yeah. They had like a couple albums before Fergie was around that are pretty incredible. They had a song called "That's the Joint."
Yeah, I remember that song.
You should YouTube that video. The video's good. So, and it's like a real chill song. It's a good one.
I'll definitely have to check it out. The other one that kind of pops in, and I wanted to kind of go back to one from the high school nostalgia, but the other one, when my grandfather passed away in 2008, and they played "You've Got a Friend." Some people came in and sang that and played that right before he passed away. So that always has kind of a special. I don't know if I'm stuck on an island. That would be that would be what I would want. But I'll put that in kind of the favorite album list.
At least that song's telling you got a friend.
Yeah, right.
I feel like that's a good thing. I think you went the right way with that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Way to take it.
Can I answer that question? Am I allowed to answer that question?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I was about to be like, damn. I'm going to go with Bob Marley, the Legend.
Oh, it's a great one.
Greatest Hits, or however that works out there. That album for sure. Talib Kweli and High Tech, Reflection Eternal, The Train of Thought, their first album together.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. And Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles.
Awesome.
None too shabby.
Yeah. That would be the 3 that are coming with me to the island. So it's going to get weird and wild and toads and all sorts of things.
Oh man!
G, you got one? You might as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll line up 3 of them. Of course, I'd have to have Nas's first, Illmatic.
Oh, nice.
I would say you could throw Outkast's Southern Playlist to go in there. And then it would be like a toss-up between just about any Bob Marley record and Marvin Gaye's Greatest Hits.
Oh,
awesome.
Man, oh man.
They would round it right out.
Woo! This is one of those things. My palms are sweating thinking about being only stuck with 3 albums of music right now.
So you got to make sure they're good ones. That's for damn sure.
That's the truth. I mean, and I listen to music all day long. Yep. Justin, I'm going to ask you a couple questions if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
And we'll just see where it takes us.
Can I throw something in real quick? Just a tidbit on what Ricky just said. Just as a side note, my aunt's a movie producer. She produced Idlewild. I don't know the Outkast movie.
I love that movie.
I love that movie.
She spent quite a bit of time. They were quite a tour crowd. So anyway, I'm sorry, Scotty, bring that back.
That's awesome.
No, that's all right. Actually, that is like really cool because I feel like a lot of people don't know that movie, and it definitely is a musical. If you wanted to put it that way. For people that maybe would have a hard time, wanting to watch hip hop music, I think it's a great way to introduce a whole different set of people to the whole genre itself.
Yeah.
It was made in like the same way to me like old Disney movies were made. Where it's like a whole bunch of musical numbers and then a little bit of acting in between.
Yes. Yeah. You nailed it.
I think it was fun to watch, and they had some of the unique backdrop stuff was really interesting when they were outside and stuff and doing the car chases and I think that movie was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it a lot. All right, so we got your background. We don't necessarily know everything that you know, and that's okay, but what are your goals here for the future of, personally, professionally? You don't have to say you're going to burn any bridges. I'm not trying to get you to do that, but, where are you going to take yourself?
It's interesting because I always ask that question, during the interviews, I create financial goals every year, and I don't know like impact goals, but it's just I want 1 million stories to hit the 1 million stories. I think that's the big to have really the impact. One, to have when you do 1 million stories, as both you guys know, the big joke is that it's for the person that receives it. It's like it
really is.
It's so much more beneficial. I get so much more out of it than the person who actually receives it, and the fact that people actually like it and share it and promote it. So when we created 1 million stories, it was to have the 1 million stories actually get told. One of the things is I talked to you about, Scotty, in 2013 is or 2014, I guess we'll call it this year, is to have musicians who are passionate to make a full-time living doing the work that they're doing. So it started kind of the raving mastermind, raving fans mastermind, to do that. And now that we're podcasting is, I guess I want, and I never even thought of it as a specific goal, but I've been looking at doing podcasting for quite a while right now. And people say about podcasting is you have to have good sound quality, and you have to have stuff come out on a regular basis for it to be successful.
That's true.
Like a scheduled basis. And what I'm going to be doing, the first 8 weeks is where you kind of get into the new and noteworthy. I'm going to be launching 1,000 podcasts in the first 8 weeks. So kind of redefining what it takes. What kind of turning podcasting, and I don't know if it's it's podcasting specific, but turning it on its head, where every bit would just really like every bit of self-expression matters, and that's that's the goal, and to have people who have something inside of them, just being able to express it in a way to get acknowledged for the stuff that they want to do and to get compensated for that. So those are I guess those are the big ones for we'll call them kind of the objectives for the foreseeable future, and just to have and I guess to have a place, and I guess Ricky, just to have a place that my kids where they can have self-expression, and they can be able to express, like, to leave the world in a way where that kind of lives, because I believe the motto that I guess I live under is, people who live their lives out of their passion heal the world. You don't have, there's no, when we're having this conversation right now, and we're connected, guys who like each other, talking about what we're passionate about, there's no room for war, there's no room for fighting, inside of this conversation. So you expand that out, right? It's when we're doing what we want to be doing, we have no time or energy to do stuff to harm another person. So I hope, I don't know if,
no, that's incredible you put it like that. And
I like that.
My next question was, what's your attitude toward those? And so you completely nailed that. What do you do away from work when you're? What do we got?
Well, don't worry about that.
Ricky G, you got a little action? Got some hot action going on there?
Somebody's none too pleased.
That's all right. This is
so funny.
When we do these things from home. This is what we get. I got to meet Justin's daughter the other day when we were.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You were on the one where she was like, "You're being too loud."
Yeah, and then she had a sign for you. It was awesome. I really liked it. But that makes you a real person to me. Like I guess for someone like me, it's like sometimes you just want to take the status quo or the standard norm for communicating professionally and just fucking cram it, I mean, and maybe it's because I've become more expressive. Well, I've always been pretty expressive verbally, but since I've been gearing myself toward expression, I don't have a lot of room for some of that kind of stuff, like I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So if your daughter walks in the conversation, great. What? I mean, like I need that sporadicness, I guess, that just
real,
changes.
Right? Yeah.
So we know why you do 1 million stories, because it's not just about saying something nice to raise the vibration, but in the end, it's euphoric for yourself when you get the response, and all of a sudden, I did a 1 million stories on Friday. A guy named Callahan Montoya, and a few people from his label or his group or whatever, started following and reposting the 1 million stories and send a message, and it's that's that feeling that's incredible. But what do you?
Is he out of that group out of L.A.?
He's out of Colorado, I think. Well, it's the YAKA Music, Yaka.
Okay, it's different than I was thinking. Okay.
But I think you would really enjoy his stuff, and I know you'll get to it. I put it in the 1 Million Stories Facebook page, so just scroll through it in there. It's in there.
I saw that. Now this is kind of bugging me. Just give me one. I'm sorry. I'm just.
You're fine.
I feel like he runs in some of the circles that, but I might be wrong. Let me just see. Montoya. All right, so I don't. We'll cover this later. Maybe. What the? Okay, no, I was thinking somebody else. Cool. Okay, sorry about that. My Mac is on 9%. It's saying 9 minutes. So we'll go to this. 8 minutes remaining. We'll go to this thing dies here.
Let's do it. Right until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, right.
I feel like the wheels might be falling off here at my house right now.
I hear them falling off out there.
They're not happy.
I was going to ask you, Justin, and this is something I think is important to Ricky and I both, just because we find ourselves, oh, wow, traveling this path of starting to create, and we're not dedicated to one type of thing. A lot like you, like all of a sudden you're doing podcasting, and you got the SoundCloud thing, and you got whatever, and I think it's that just being a communicator and wanting to talk about stuff is who we really are. And so that's where we start to dabble into other things from that. And what do you think determines a person's progress?
Yeah, what determines a person's progress? Ultimately, that's interesting. So there's two different approaches to it. I think I believe two different things. I believe, set a goal and run towards that goal so you can see how you're progressing against that goal. But more importantly, for me, depending on what type of person you are, do you wake up in the morning and feel excited about what you're doing and feel expressed in what you're doing? And you can't be expressed in what you're doing if you're not moving forward. I love doing the profile pieces, but I can't. I can do 3 profile pieces a day, and that will not be moving forward for me progressively as experience, because I know how to do it. It's comfortable for me. I've got to do more than that, but it's all inside of expression. So I think it's really like, if you're doing things that make you feel expressed, that you're moving forward, you're getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things, and you're feeling good about it, that's progress. And then, the other thing, I think the key thing with progress is patience. It's never going to come as quickly as it needs to come. And I always say, I said about myself, I think I did in one of my earlier SoundClouds. I didn't remember saying it, but one of my buddies, Martin Messier, who kind of got on SoundCloud with me at the same time, he said that I said this. I said, I'm going to be an overnight success. I just don't know what day that's going to happen, right?
That's the right attitude, man. I love it.
So it's. I think that's the key thing. We talked about that at the beginning here, right? It's just like, you keep pumping it, you keep pumping it. We can't predict the future, but it's predictable that's going to happen.
I like that, Ricky. These are the things when you and I have our hangouts, brother. And we get to talking, man. It's about just creating. Just keep creating, and then it comes through.
Yeah, he's on mute. I bet he's worried about what's going on.
It's getting loud.
That's cool. It doesn't sound loud at all to us, seriously.
No, it really doesn't. It's not that bad at all.
All right.
Give me a hard time. All right, so I know you're getting low on that battery there, Justin, so I'll move down the line here. These are a little more closer to home and focus on the other side of you a little bit.
Yeah.
What kind of people irritate you the worst?
What kind of people irritate me the worst? People who talk and don't take action. And I think also people who want to sell you on the story of why they can't do something. Irritate
that sounds like me for about 30 years.
Let me just think of the. I'm just trying to think of. Because I want to give a RAWdio type answer. That's kind of a developed, actualized answer. What's a RAWdio? I'm trying to think of like where I got like down, dirty, irritated, annoyed with somebody recently.
Well, you live in New York City, so I can imagine that people can be very irritating, or you have it completely honed out at this point. It's just not even there.
Yeah. It's the people who can't read personal cues, who just continue to talk, and and I'm probably doing the same thing here. Continue to talk. I'm trying to think of the last time I got totally irritated by but they just keep talking, and the other person's checked out of the conversation long before that. So those are the ones that probably that push the buttons the most. It's funny because I'm not. You got to get me irritated to really access this. I'm not accessing it right now because I'm just feeling good right now. So.
Well, and you know what, Justin, I think is that ever since you started doing 1 Million Stories, which really is, the Battle of Saratoga in my life, that's when I was like, what the fuck am I doing? He's doing exactly what I want to be doing, so why am I, let's get started. Let's start doing stuff.
I got it. Okay.
All right.
So, so people who, yeah, right. We got to do it. Here's what annoys me. Fairly recently, there was the incident we had on the West Side Highway in New York where there was this Korean, or not, was he Korean? He was Asian, and he got into a thing with a bunch of bikers.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And it was just like, I mean, the way, and what irritated me, the people who kind of universalized the whole thing, and as opposed to saying this is an incident, that happened, that was an unfortunate incident, it got blown into like, here is how bikers are, and here's how Asian. You know what I'm saying? Like, you took one incident and extrapolated it out to the whole world. And that really annoyed me. The other thing.
Now, hang on. Let me ask you, and I don't mean to be too personal, but your wife is.
My wife's Chinese.
Is Chinese. Okay. Go on. Move on.
Yeah. So she's trying, and that's the piece. So now I'm starting to get into it a little bit. There's also what annoys, it's the stepping over. I can't even articulate it correctly.
I'm so mad that I asked the question. I think it's
boundaries. Like people who are saying, annoying. Okay, I got the annoying one. People who don't say something offensive but apologize for the thing that's the one where they're not being offensive. They're saying something that's very mundane about something, but they apologize for potentially being offensive. That annoys the crap out of me.
I know what you mean. You know what? I think I figured out what annoys you even more is being asked that question.
I feel like I didn't give a RAWdio type answer to it, so I had to get I gave a looking good answer, but I didn't have a better one at the time. Yeah.
All right. Well, and I'm going to ask you this last one.
Cool.
And I'll let you get going, and then Ricky and I'll wrap up after you get out of here. But and this is, you've probably seen this in my blog, and this is something that's going to become a real staple coming from me. But if I were to ask the people closest to you to describe you in 3 words, what 3 words would they say?
The people closest to me, I'll give I'll do a positivity, a criticism sandwich. So they'd say creative, absent-minded, and caring.
And those 2 things are the 2 things that creative people have to be, in my opinion.
Absent-minded and caring?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, I wouldn't have even linked that together, but that's incredible, Rick.
Yeah.
That is my middle name.
Incredible?
Yeah.
Rick Incredible. Oh, man. Justin, hey, I really appreciate it. For everyone out there that's watching, the 2 viewers and maybe the potential viewers we get down the road here with the replays, we're here live with Justin Finkelstein, and Rick Gerard, of course, is with me. But Justin is the mastermind, again, of 1 Million Stories. You can check him out on SoundCloud. He has a YouTube channel, and I'll make sure I get the links put in the description of this when I get it all figured out. So looks like his computer died, and he is gone.
It was that.
Dude, man, it was like he was like a shooting star. He was a comet. Well, Rick Gerard, it sounds like you have some parenting duties to take care of.
Yes, sir. It was successful tonight.
It was extremely successful, and tomorrow night, hopefully, we're going to be able to do it with Apollo Main. And big shout out to Justin for coming in here and
yes,
just
thank you very much.
Teaching us, how to stay focused. Basically, is how I felt like he did things. So
yeah, definitely some words of wisdom to keep in mind when you're trying to be creative and keep moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you get rolling. Scotty2Hotty from the RAWdio podcast.
Ricky G, King of Zamunda 83. Here it is.
And that's what the fuck we're calling it. Hanging out with RAWdio podcast. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.